Thank you so much. I've been sitting here talking for however long this stream's been going on, and 20 minutes. Thinking I'm saying some really good stuff, and obviously nobody has responded because they can't hear me. I'm doing well, Philosophy Enjoyer. How are you? Thank you, I appreciate it. I hope that you're doing well as well, Philosophy Enjoyer. Anyways, some of the stuff... Oh, good. Glad to hear that. So some of the stuff that I was saying that was actually pretty important is just about gesture in general, and for people who want to be comic or manga artists, it's extraordinarily important. Or if you just want to be doing character art in general, I cannot emphasize enough how important gesture drawing really is. It's really the foundation of all character art. I would say like perspective, proportion, and gesture are all like the fundamentals that you really need to have if you're going to do character art. Without those things, you're gonna have a difficult time. And the other thing that's important is, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask as I go through. I love answering questions. I'm gonna have to like edit like the first 20 minutes of this video and just chop it out so that people who are watching later don't get don't see it and are like, what is this guy doing? Like, he doesn't even have his mic on. I appreciate you telling me that. Sitting here looking like a goon for the past half hour. So, I guess I can introduce myself again at this point. So I'm Mike. I like to do streams for gesture drawing. And I'll do... For today's stream, I'm going to be doing hands as well in just a minute. So I like to do both. I'm not going to sit here and say like hands are my strongest suit, because they're definitely not, but I have gotten better since doing these streams. It's been really helpful. Okay. Yeah, gesture, Philosophy Enjoyer. Gesture is not easy. It's not an easy skill to conquer. I would say I'm pretty solid at my gestures at this point, but it's been a journey to get here. So yes, let's look at the fruits of my labor. So what this this is Philosophy Enjoyer, so these are from reference, and I use a simple mannequin to draw the body, so that later on down the road, when I go to do like a real, not a real piece of art, a piece of art that I'm gonna finish, that I would like to post or anything like that, I have a good foundation to build on. So yeah, you can add more details. You can do, the face and things like that, and clothes, muscles, everything of that nature, on top of this. So like what I would do is I would tone this way down, and let's see, one that I could quickly add some info to. So like for this one, I would just draw over it and like go ahead and do some of like the muscles. And like, I would go ahead and do a simple hand and everything like that. And here, all that good stuff. Yeah, this is difficult. Like getting this down is not easy. But all right, but this is an example. I have a drawing tablet too. I think it's better for me to, yo, what's up, Awaken? I think it's better for me first to learn drawing on paper. Yeah, I mean, I think both have their benefits and their weaknesses, but yeah, whatever you're most comfortable with. All right, so I'm gonna scale all of this down, just so I have room for a few hands. My computer is running kind of sloppily today. I don't know what the problem is. I have to figure that out. All right, so now we'll move on to hands. I'm gonna do about 5 hands. That's a great question. What I would do, I'll do 6 hands. What I would do is get yourself a good reference. Of like just a body, and then practice it. No perspective, no nothing. It's gonna be really quick and sloppy, so just bear with me. But yeah, you can practice it kind of like this. And you can notice, like, it doesn't need to be pretty. That's not the purpose of this. Your purpose is to just practice putting things in the proportions that they need to be. Don't worry about, like, the actual anatomy or anything like that. So, the main thing is from here to here, that distance should be the same as that one. If not, this could be slightly longer. Oh, what's up, Nick? Um, but yeah, this. Yep. I'll get to Awaken. I'll get to your question in just a second. So within this, yep, it's about one half, or this could be slightly longer. The head is about there's about 7 head links. 7 equals 1. Math. Elbow falls either at about the rib cage or the belly button, somewhere in that range. Your wrist hits at about where you were, like a little bit lower than your hip. Hand should be able to, at the very least, cover up the crotch area. Upper arm from here to here is slightly longer than from the elbow to the wrist, and then the hand makes up for that distance, so it's about half and half there. Upper leg and lower leg are about the same length. Another good one to know is from here to here is about the same distance so the head, if you take that and just put another head right below it, from the chin to the sternum is about another head length. So just those kinds of things. I was curious to know how you approach composition and paneling. Like, do you have a visual idea on how it would look like? I think I'm basically asking, how do you direct the scene in your head? So like what I like to do is I write my story out, and then I look at the story and I'm trying to think of, what do I want people to actually see? Is it a character? Is it a scene? And then from there I go in and I'm just like, okay, so this is the scene. And I might think of it in like a flat view. So like just things just kind of like in here flatly. So let's just say it's like buildings. And then what I'll do is I'm like, okay, so that's what I want the layout to look like. Now, how do I make that the most interesting like view of it that I possibly can, and what do I really want out of it? Like, do I want a specific building in the city to look really like imposing? Like, if I do, then that means that I should take the angle and make it like this, right? So like the building itself looks like larger than life in some ways. It's a very sloppy. So the building itself looks like larger than life in some ways, right? Same thing, but yeah. So if I'm doing it that way, that's what I do. And then for characters, it's like a question of, all right, what is this character doing? What do I want the audience to see, and how do I want to portray that in the best way possible? And then the same kind of process, like, okay, so in this particular panel, I want this character to be talking to another character, but how do I do that so it's just not a head, right? What is the mood? So I think of all of those things, and then never use like your first thought, at first at least, because your first one's probably not going to be the best. So like, oh, I want it to be just a flat like 3/4 view and that's it. Maybe, but there's so many different ways of doing it. Like, is the character, are they, sorry, I'm trying to like, I don't know what's going on. I need to like reinstall Huion's driver, I think. But like, are they like looking down on somebody because they feel superior? So is it like a villain that's going through their monologue of telling the protagonist the many ways that in which they wouldn't be able to defeat them? So if that's the case, then maybe like this head view might be like a good idea, or something kind of like this, where like the character's kind of like just things like that. So it's really like what do you want to show them, and how can you show it to them in the most interesting way possible? And you go through a few different thumbnails of thinking about how to do that. In composition, I would say think about what things should have the most weight first, and then look at the different like types of composition. You have like the triangles composition, the golden ratio, rule of thirds, putting it center. You have all those things, but first just like, all right, I have a panel. I want it to be that's another thing. Like, is it something where you want to see like an entire character? If that's the case, then you should probably use a vertical panel. Is it something that I want to see like, you know, a whole landscape? So you would use a horizontal panel. How much space do I really need here? Can I use a smaller portion of that, and things like that? But after you figure that piece out, then figuring out how to put those pieces. Is line confidence a skill to develop, or just comes naturally? It's definitely a skill to develop. Not a lot of people have. I'm one of those kinds of people. I don't have a lot of confidence in the lines that I have sometimes. So what ends up happening is you just need to do it, and then afterwards you draw over it as many times as it takes for it to look kind of professional. But it is definitely a skill. It's not, I don't think it just comes naturally to some people. I think some people probably have an easier time doing it. Yo, what's up, Peter? Alright, so I don't really have that much time. My mom's gonna be here relatively soon, so I'm just gonna do a few hands. Yes, exactly. Yep. I'm gonna do 3 hands. I know that's not a lot, but I do want to get some hands in. I'll take the time to say this. So I have finished up some 3D stuff for. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my mom. I wanted to finish some 3D stuff up, I did finish 3D stuff up for an environment for my one-shot, so I am going to be doing that. I would hope within the next couple of months it will be finished. I'll be sure to update y'all on that. I'll start like putting stuff on Instagram and things like that, so you can kind of follow along with the project. Very excited about it. It'll be called Forsaken Soul, and like I said, hopefully it'll be coming out in the next couple of months. Do I want to do hands, or is that going to put me in a time crunch? I might have to I think this is going to put me in a little bit too much of a time crunch, to be honest with you. I'm going to I'll probably wrap up here, actually. I know that this is a shorter stream, but I need to pack my truck up for my mom. So I'm sorry, I'm going to start wrapping up here. If y'all have any more questions, I'll definitely answer some questions for you before I jump off. But yep, and if this is the first time, it's I think I posted it on the 5th of July. I posted my cover for Forsaken Soul. See you later, Nick. Yep, you too. Thanks, Philosophy Enjoyer. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Make sure to join the Discord. Subscribe if you didn't subscribe yet. Yep, I'll wrap up here. Love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me and talking for a bit. Sorry it was short. I'll be back with another stream on either tomorrow or Sunday. It was nice seeing you too, Peter. Alrighty. Well, not seeing you, but seeing you on the chat. Alrighty, everybody. I'll see y'all. Thank you so much.